Hello and welcome to UC Today. My name is Kieran Devlin and today's session is Preparing for the Future of Voice in UC. I am delighted to be joined by Joel Keane, Product Manager for Continuant, and Mark Bunnell, COO at New Wave. Joel, Mark, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Karen.
Before we explore exactly what the future of voice is in UC and how customers can prepare for it, can you please tell us a little bit about yourselves, Joe and Mark, and the work you do with both Continuant and New Wave? Joe, we'll start with yourself.
Sure. So my name is Joel Keane. I am the product manager for Continuant Connect here at Continuant. Continuant Connect is our calling platform as a service offering, including all the engineering and ACM and all the stuff that goes around that. New Wave is critical to that solution and is really the core foundation for the way that we offer our services. I've been focused in the UC space for the past 15, 16 years, largely from the Microsoft world. So moving into this position and then working with New Wave on this is right in my alley.
Yeah, and I'm Mark Bunnell. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder here at New Wave. So I handle all the day-to-day operations of the global business, the customer experience, and then the architecture of our iPilot software platform. I have a 31-year background all in the carrier voice space, which has been critical in the understanding of how we articulate and create a product and a service that really resonates with carriers and partners to have full automation capabilities to drive UC into the future.
Perfect. And beginning with yourself, Mark, I think more of an industry-wide question that I'm really curious about. What sort of key trends are you seeing in the voice space in 2024?
Well, there's a few. I really think that simplicity in the management of voice is really critical. Being able to have everything in one place for that to be on demand. People don't want to have to really rely on their carriers anymore. They want to be able to just go in and handle a lot of things themselves. Make it real simple and intuitive to gather all the things. And it's anything related in voice, right? It's not just provisioning some UC platform and doing some users. It's about SIP trunks and contact centers and call recording and SMS texting, right? It's all of the things that you would want to be able to have and configure in your voice environment, all in one place, multiple carriers. And then, we're also seeing trends of multi-UC where enterprise customers, have, Teams and Zoom and WebEx, right? They maybe go acquire a company that has one of the other products, and you need to be able to have a system and a platform where you can control all three of them in the same place and maybe do some migrations off of on-prem to one of the UC platforms. All of those really intricate feature sets that no one else is really thinking about, and giving customers that opportunity to reduce their infrastructure and to really go into the cloud, right? And have the security first and foremost around that solution that's required, because as we're seeing all these breaches and hackers and things like that's coming into the mix, you want to know that the solution that you have that you're using to control your environment is also protected and carrier grade.
I think that actually touches nicely on my next question, Mark, which is about the challenges these trends can create for organizations during their digital transformation. The digital transformation has been ongoing for several years now, but there are still these fresh challenges and fresh opportunities that have been created in that interim. So I guess starting with yourself, Joel, what sort of challenges do these trends create for organizations in adapting to the digital transformation, even in 2024?
Sure. So I think one of the big things that we see is a shift from a legacy idea of voice-only applications into voice-first applications, right? One of the things that we talk about quite a bit is sort of the sunset of the PSTN and the way that that's moving forward, and a reduced reliance on that. But Mark and I have had conversations in the past. One of the things that he pointed out that I think is critical to be aware of is that there's more voice today than there has been in the past, right? And that's largely due to the fact that voice is still critical to the way that we communicate. It is the aspect of everything moving forward from the way that organizations worked in the past. So when you come from, for instance, a legacy PBX where we expect to have voice, and you're moving forward, you're moving into applications that are largely not voice only, right? UCaaS applications include text and video and all those things that we're familiar with today. But that voice component is still critical and is the way that we interoperate across various applications. So as we move those things forward, one of the things we spend a lot of time with at Continuant is really that adoption of those new technologies and looking at ways to optimize workforce as we take advantage of the way that we're actually moving those organizations into that future UC space.
And how influential will the PST change be in shaping the future of voice? I think if we're looking ahead, this is something that businesses have been praying for, again, for several years, but it's coming sooner than maybe some people think, and it will change everything. Beginning with yourself, Mark, how seismic will this be?
Well, I think it's been underway for quite some time, and we were converting a lot of people off of TDM, products and things, for the last few years. And that's one of the reasons why, we built what we built, is because you need to have those migration tools that are available to you, at your leisure, right? Because a lot of this is maintenance window type stuff. You want to make sure that it works. And so, having the tools at partners and customers' fingertips where they can move, off of that infrastructure, test it all out, make sure it works. And then if there's something that's wrong, right, you have a fallback, you can move it back. Right. And to be able to do that whenever you want versus having to call a carrier up and say, hey, we need to coordinate this. When a customer or a partner can do it themselves, then, you make it so much easier for the adoption and the speed at which they want to move their own project. And so I think that's going to be the way of the future, and how people really start moving off of that infrastructure is to really, be in control of it.
And if I can add to that, I mean, one of the things that we're running into is exactly that carrier transformation aspect of it as well, right? I was talking to an organization this morning who let me know right in the middle of some of our demonstration of iPilot and the way that works, that really they got notification that their carrier is shutting down their circuits in 6 weeks. And so they need a way to be able to adapt to that and make that change, especially as the carrier landscape is changing, the way that they're focusing their investments on really delivering network technologies and getting away from that heavy investment in voice only. So, the iPilot platform and working with New Wave has been critical for us in being able to enable our customers to make those transitions quickly, right, and adapt quickly, and have the flexibility to do that on timelines that make a lot of sense for them.
And I think this is all building, as you say, it is providing this very expansive, all-in-one. Maybe not quite all-in-one, but it's a very comprehensive set of solutions for customers. And if we are moving towards this near universal UCaaS type of landscape, what features and benefits would you say there are to a single platform solution in the future of voice?
So I think we run into a couple of things. Personally, I don't see a lot of organizations that move to this single UCaaS space, right? As Mark was alluding to earlier, I think that was an idea that was very high in people's minds, let's say 5 years ago. But as we moved very quickly into cloud voice solutions, right? We see organizations adopting a number of different solutions, and really depending on the industry, it can widely vary as far as what they're going to bring in-house. We see a lot of organizations try and transition to one full solution, whether it be Teams or Zoom or WebEx, but there's undoubtedly change, right? And especially as that space grows and organizations tend to be a little more dynamic and have that flexibility, that having a core platform that can really tie those systems together, allow you to manage all that from one place, and have organizations that can help with engineering those solutions, driving, the roadmap for putting those solutions together, as well as helping with the adoption across the organization as to how that's going to work, I think is more critical to the solution than this idea that there's going to be a single UCaaS for any given organization.
Yeah, I think it really boils down to our mantra, which is choice, right? You have to be future proofed. And when you're a partner, you don't have the luxury of being able to focus on just one UC provider or one voice provider or one carrier or anything else, right? You have to provide all of the choices, because in the future, you don't want to lose your customer to a different solution that you didn't already have. You need to be able to, just say, oh, it's fine. You want to go from, Teams to WebEx or, to Zoom or any of the others, and just be able to say, yeah, no problem. We have that. We can do it, so that the provider like Continuant who's using the system, right, they don't have to lose that customer because they don't have the choice available, to the customers that want a particular product, right? And so you have to be agnostic, to all of those solutions so that you ultimately are able to retain the customer, which is the most important thing.
And I wonder if we could talk specifically about OEMs and carriers. They face very unique and significant challenges during this transitional process to this new era of voice. What advice would you give to OEMs and carriers, and how do they overcome these challenges?
Well, I mean, that's again one of the things that we just mentioned, right? It's having that choice. Is that carriers specifically, right? They need the most choice, right? And they need the most flexibility, and they a lot of times need the most help because a lot of the tier ones are legacy, right? They have these TDM circuits, they have archaic systems. They're made up of multiple mergers, and they've never been able to consolidate those systems. And they have different departments for different products, different things, within those product sets. And so it becomes a very bespoke process. And so more than ever, the carriers and the OEMs need a solution like what New Wave and Continuant is providing, because it gives them, basically a consolidation of departments and complexity, and gives them choice to be able to pivot their voice to any of the other functions and features. And then it gives their customers and partners using those carriers, all the intricate carrier feature toggles that have never been available to customers before, right? And so that's the uniqueness of this program that we have together, is that we give carriers and OEMs and the customers all of those choices, so that it becomes a very unique customer experience that's simple.
And I guess this ties into Mark's point about choice, but I wonder if we could focus specifically on customization and adaptability. You've talked about the range of solutions that you guys can provide to customers, to carriers, to OEMs, but I wonder if you could please give a bit more detail, maybe some use cases about how customization and adaptability has really strengthened the proposition for customers.
Sure. So one of the things that we run into with organizations is really the criticality of that customization. So as we move forward into cloud-based platforms, right, we have OEMs and carriers that are very much focused on being able to deliver, to a certain extent, this one flavor of service, right? Whether, again, Teams and WebEx and Zoom being all, fantastic examples, wonderful products, but it's sort of an out-of-the-box solution, right? And what organizations are really looking for is, one, their roadmap's going to UC is going to be different from virtually any other organization, right? It's one of the challenges we run into with every organization as we get into those conversations, is largely, well, how is everybody else doing this? And the answer is almost always, well, everybody's doing it a little different, right? And that's just how it works. We want to ensure that your organization's transition and what that roadmap looks like works for your organization. That's where a platform like iPilot makes a lot of sense for us, and working with New Wave in order to make sure that we have the flexibility to work with any org on that path and meet their needs, right? So again, that choice and flexibility that Mark's talking about. But even once we get past that, organizations still need to be able to set themselves apart from everybody else, that are in the same industry or in the same space, right? So things that make them unique. So as we kind of get into this one flavor world or big box kind of approach to, the UC solutions or the carrier solutions, being able to adjust the way that it works in an environment, or leveraging things like the way that New Wave can be flexible with development, allowing us to hook into various APIs and engineer solutions for customers in order for them to be successful, is absolutely critical to ensure that they can actually take advantage of the cloud solutions and things being offered, in the UC space today.
Yeah, I would just second that we're, we would love to say that, our product is by intelligent designer, that we're geniuses, right? But the fact of the matter is that we're just really good listeners. And so we thrive in customizations, we thrive in feature requests. And the reason the platform is so robust today is because of customer feedback. And then we measure our dev time in weeks, not quarters or years. We build, needle moving, setups and things very, very quickly. Yeah. And so, we're going to continue to have a very robust, roadmap, and we're going to continue to listen to our customers. And whenever there's a real world use case that matters, that people need, and they're running up against a roadblock, we will fix it. We will make sure that whatever prevents somebody from adopting the system is taken care of, and we add that for future. And that's our commitment all the time, is to keep evolving and keep moving fast.
I think that's a lovely, very affirming note on which to end today's session. I think it's all we've got time for, I'm afraid. But thank you, Joe and Mark, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Kieran.
And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share on social media, and we'll see you next time. I've been Kieran Devlin of UC Today. Thanks for watching.